Okay, hello everyone. So this is the second part of the introduction of cloud computing, and in this part we're going to talk about the different types of cloud computing models available in today's world. So they are known as first is the infrastructure as service, second is the platform as service, third is the software as service, and yep, and so on. So these are the three types of cloud computing model which exist today, and customer can go and choose what's best fit for their use case because each of them provides a different level of control, flexibility, and the management. So it's up to you. Whatever suits your requirement, just go for that. So let's talk about infrastructure as service. So basically, this involves the basic building blocks of cloud IT. Basically, it provides access to networking features, computers, data storage, etc. Okay, so consider this like someone is providing their entire infrastructure and you can go and perform and use their services. For example, you can use their storage service, you can go and use their servers, you can go and use their so, storage, networking, and so on. So it is like more similar to the existing IT resources which my IT departments and developers are familiar. So one of the best example of infrastructure as service is AWS only. So basically AWS Cloud, Azure Cloud, or Google Cloud, all these are the examples of infrastructure as service because they are providing their infrastructure to the customers so customers can come and use their infrastructure for various services. Okay, next, let's talk about this platform as a service. So, platform as a service need for you it removes the need for you to manage the underlying infrastructure, basically hardware and operating system, and allows you to focus on the development and the management of your application. So basically, this platform as a service was developed mainly for the developers, for the software developers, I would say. So software developers don't need to worry about like what infrastructure they're going to use for their applications. They will simply focus on the application development part. Okay, and the rest is being taken care by the platform as a service. So if I have to tell you one example, so one example is AWS Lambda. So AWS Lambda is a service for the developers which provide the like their platform. For example, Lambda has many runtimes inbuilt, like developers can go and they can code in Python, they can code in Java, they can code in .NET. So that is up to the developer, but all this platform overhead is taken care by the AWS Lambda. So AWS Lambda is basically an AWS service, which comes and which can be a good example of platform as a service. Okay, but just keep this thing in mind that this service was developed, like this term was developed keeping the developers in mind. Okay, so the next is the software as a service. So software as a service is basically, you can say, it provides you a complete product that is run and managed by the service provider. The biggest, like the easiest example I have to tell you is Netflix. So Netflix is like a software as a service. Basically, Netflix is managing everything, right? Netflix is managing their movie part. The architecture is being completely managed by the Netflix. They just simply, a user has to simply log in, create an account, then log in and just click on play on whatever movie or TV series they would like to watch, right? They don't have to manage, user doesn't have to manage anything, right? They simply create an account and start using the services. So one of the biggest example is Netflix. Another example is Gmail. Okay. So all these things comes under the software as a service. One of the Another thing that you don't need to in software as a service, you don't need to install software manually on your laptop, right? So everything is inbuilt over the internet, right? So in your computer, you can directly go to your netflix.com and start watching movies right away. Okay, so you don't have to think about how the service is maintained and the underlying infrastructure is managed. So that is basically a software as a service. So I hope this makes sense. And yep, these are the three types of clouds. Thank you. If you, I'll see you in the next lecture.